Goku would be seeing greater gains from Master Roshi's training, making a lot of his fights easier than they were in canon after that. I can already tell that there will be people asking how Goku isn't one-shotting everyone. Well, if we look into the Saiyan saga, Gohan had very harsh training from Piccolo, who is far stronger than anyone in these early stages of Dragon Ball, and only got to the same power as Krillin. So this Goku may be a bit stronger than his canon counterpart, but he hasn't been training at the same intensity as Gohan did. During the tournament where Goku faces Master Roshi, disguised as Jackie Chan, Goku would have a clear but not large upper hand against Roshi, leading Roshi to get Goku to do the final kick to end the match earlier. Roshi would very narrowly win because of his height advantage, and we now skip to the tournament where he faces Tien. This time, Goku would actually beat Tien, and would become the World Martial Arts Champion. We now skip to Tambourine killing Krillin, and Goku may have been angry in canon, but now he is furious. We have seen the types of rage boosts Gohan gets in canon, and I'm going to be giving Goku those types of rage boosts as well. So, when Goku faces Demon King Piccolo's minions, he absolutely stomps them all, and he would begin to battle Piccolo. The rage boost would give Goku a clear edge in power, however it makes his fighting sloppy, which means Piccolo could dodge a lot of Goku's attacks, and also landing some of his own. Goku's arm wouldn't get broken, but he would end Piccolo by using a Kamehameha and headbutt straight through King Piccolo. King Piccolo would spit out an egg before he died, which means Kami would still be alive, and Piccolo Jr. would still exist. We now take another skip to Goku's fight against Piccolo Jr. After Goku's training with Kami, the fight between Goku and Piccolo is not as close as it was in canon. Both Goku and Piccolo would be stronger in their own right, but Goku would have an obvious edge. Goku would end up beating Piccolo and sparing his life. A couple years would pass, and then Raditz would arrive on Earth, looking for Goku. Raditz would first come against Piccolo, who was stronger than his canon counterpart, but still not quite as strong as Raditz. After beating Piccolo, Raditz would begin to head to Kami House, where Goku is introducing everyone to his son Gohan. This Gohan having an even higher potential than this timeline's Goku. Raditz would show up, and after Goku refuses to join him, Raditz would try and kidnap Gohan, but let's just say that wasn't the smartest idea. Raditz looks at his scouter to see Goku's power level at 3000 and it's rising. Goku is getting angry, and he would then rush at Raditz. Raditz would be overwhelmed, getting smacked around like a ragdoll by an enraged Goku. Raditz would get so scared of Goku's power that he would even create a fake moon, becoming a Great Ape, which would put his power level over 10,000. Goku wouldn't be able to keep up anymore, and he would begin to get beaten by Raditz, but Piccolo would show up, and Goku and Piccolo would team up against Raditz. Piccolo would turn giant to distract Raditz, while Goku would power up a Kamehameha and fire it at Raditz's tail. Raditz would then be sent back into his base form, and then a weakened Goku would get Raditz in a full Nelson. Goku would shout for Piccolo to do it, and then Piccolo would shoot a special beam cannon through Goku and Raditz, killing them both. Raditz would then tell them that two Saiyans which are much stronger than himself will arrive in a year's time to get revenge. Piccolo laughed, saying anything that they do can be fixed with the Dragon Balls. They can grant any wish after all. Raditz begins to chuckle, coughing out blood, and he says his scouter may be able to detect power levels, but it is also a communications device. And they heard the whole thing. Raditz would then die, and Piccolo would take Gohan to train him. The humans would train under Kami, and Goku would make his way to King Kai. This time, Goku would get to King Kai's world a lot earlier, because of how much faster he is than his canon counterpart. In canon, it took an extremely long time for Goku to traverse Snake Way, but this Goku makes it to King Kai's planet in a week at most. Goku would learn the Spirit Bomb and Kaioken like in canon, but since he got there so much earlier than canon, he has a lot more time to perfect both techniques. On Earth, Gohan would still train under Piccolo, and after their training, with Gohan having an even greater potential than his canon self, he would reach a power level of 4,000. Piccolo would be somewhere around 3,000, and all of the humans would still have power levels of around 1,000. With Goku spending more time on King Kai's planet and having a greater potential than canon, we will lowball his power at 18,000. Obviously it could be a lot higher, but we're going to lowball his power for now. Say that he spent most of that extra time on practicing with Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. We skip to when the Saiyans arrive, obviously having the same power levels as normal, and when they meet the Z fighters in the wasteland, Yamcha would still get blown up by a Cyberman, and Krillin would then kill all of the Cybermen out of anger. Piccolo and Gohan would fight Nappa together, and Nappa would be extremely overwhelmed. Gohan alone already had the same power level as him, but adding Piccolo's power level of 3,000 as well, Nappa is clearly outmatched. Shortly after their fight begins, Goku would arrive, since he is obviously a lot faster than his canon self, and then him and Vegeta would stare at each other. Vegeta would look at his scouter, seeing Goku with a power level of 9,000, and Vegeta would then break his scouter in anger. Little does Vegeta know that this is only half of Goku's base form power. The battle between Goku and Vegeta would begin. After Goku begins to use full power, him and Vegeta are both equally matched. However, even though they are equal in power, Goku has superior skill and technique, which would give Goku the edge. Their fight would rage on until Vegeta decides it is time to finish Goku once and for all. Nappa breaks away from his fight, badly injured, and he flies next to Vegeta. Vegeta tells Nappa to create a power ball so he doesn't waste his own energy, and Nappa does so, transforming them both into Great Apes. This would put Nappa at a power level of 40,000 and Vegeta at a power level of 180,000. Nappa would now continue his battle with Gohan and Piccolo, with the humans now helping them, and now Goku and Vegeta would face off once again. The only way Goku would be able to be as strong as Vegeta is if he used Kaioken times 10. Goku knows it would be incredibly strenuous, and he has only attempted it a couple of times on King Kai's planet, but he knows he has to try. Goku begins to power up, and he then shouts, "Kaioken times 10! A red aura now surrounds Goku, and the strain on his body is immense. He knows he won't be able to keep this up for long, so he quickly begins to rush at Vegeta. Now Goku and Vegeta are even in power, but Goku would yet again have the advantage because of his smaller stature, meaning he is faster, and he can dodge a lot of Vegeta's attacks. Nappa's tail would eventually be cut off by a Destructo Disc from Krillin, and he would revert to his base form. Chiaotzu and TM would have died during the fight, but Piccolo would land the final blow on Nappa, killing him, and then they would move to help Goku. Goku's body finally gives out to the stress of Kaioken times 10, and his energy is completely depleted. An injured Great Ape Vegeta would begin to stomp on Goku, but then Vegeta would feel a sharp pain as he turns his head and he sees his tail was cut off. Vegeta would revert to his base form, but because of how injured he already was, he can't even get up. Piccolo is about to finish off Vegeta, but Goku tells him to stop. He wants to fight Vegeta again someday, and he wants to learn more about the Saiyan race. Piccolo would very reluctantly agree to this, but instead of letting Vegeta leave in his ship, Piccolo would knock Vegeta out. Goku would be brought to a hospital, and in another room, Vegeta would also be nursed to health, but he will be constantly monitored by at least one Z fighter at all times, waiting for him to wake up. Sometime later, the Z fighters would come into Goku's room and give him a senzu bean, instantly restoring him to full health. Goku would then walk into the room where Vegeta is, carrying the bag of senzu beans, and he would look at Vegeta. Goku would ask Vegeta why he wanted the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta would say, "Isn't it obvious? To become immortal." But Goku already knows that. What Goku means is why does Vegeta want to become immortal? Vegeta hesitates, but then begins to talk about Frieza. a tyrannical emperor who is far stronger than even both of them combined. Vegeta wanted to become immortal to defeat Frieza, but it seems like that isn't going to work. Vegeta begins thinking, and then he realises that if he found out about the Dragon Balls through his scouter, then Frieza most likely knows about them as well. Vegeta is terrified as he realises that if Frieza knows about the Dragon Balls, then he is most likely on his way to Earth, along with his forces, to wish for immortality for himself. Goku then runs out of the room and quickly flies to Kami's lookout. Goku asks Kami to get him in contact with King Kai telepathically, and Kami would do so. Goku would ask where Frieza is right now, and King Kai, hearing the mention of Frieza, would know that this is serious, so he would look. King Kai would tell Goku that Frieza isn't anywhere near Earth, and Goku would breathe a sigh of relief. King Kai tells Goku that isn't a good thing. Goku doesn't understand. Frieza is heading to Namek. Goku asks why that is an issue, and then King Kai tells him that it is a big issue, because Namek also has Dragon Balls. King Kai has just told Goku that Frieza was heading to Namek, and Goku is worried. Goku would fly back to the hospital, and he would tell Vegeta. Vegeta would begin to get nervous because he knows Frieza will head straight to Earth after getting his immortality, and Vegeta doesn't want to die. Goku would tell Vegeta that he is sure Bulma can make them a ship to go to Namek and stop Frieza, but Vegeta can't try anything, or Goku will kill him. Vegeta laughed at the idea of Goku killing him, but Vegeta knows, without Great Ape, he does not even stand the slightest chance. Vegeta would reluctantly agree, but only because he wants to kill Frieza, and use that wish for himself. Goku says that isn't going to happen, and he then gives Vegeta a senzu bean. Vegeta would eat the bean, being fully healed, and then him and Goku would exit the room. They would then walk up to Bulma and her father, and Goku would tell them that they need a ship to go to Namek, and Goku also wants the ship to be able to alter the gravity inside of it. Bulma says that they can have that done, and then they go and make some phone calls to get the equipment they will need. Until the ship is built, Goku and Vegeta train together tirelessly, with Goku winning every time, but this would mean Vegeta would get better Zenkais. Eventually, the ship would be made, and Goku and Vegeta would be the only people who head to Namek. They then both train on the gravity ship until they get to Namek, and Goku would reach a power level of 400,000. Vegeta, however, would fall behind at a power level of 300,000. And Goku could have potentially been even stronger, but obviously he can't train in the higher levels which Vegeta can't handle, so he would be forced to train on the same gravity as Vegeta, giving him less gains. They would arrive on Namek with Goku looking at the Dragon Radar. They would find one Dragon Ball in a village, and the villagers would give them the ball. They would then fly over to the Grand Elder Guru's place, where Nail would let them inside, and Goku would ask for the Dragon Ball. Guru would read Goku's mind, seeing that he is pure, and he wouldn't only give Goku the Dragon Ball, but also unlock his potential. At first, Goku would get a 14 times increase, putting his power at 5.6 million, but over time that will increase. Guru would then look into Vegeta's mind and see that he is not pure, however he is more pure than Vegeta thinks, and he decides to unlock his potential anyway, since they need all the help they can get. Vegeta would get a 7 times increase from this, putting him at a power of 2.1 million, and like Goku that will increase over time. Goku and Vegeta would then come across Zarbon and Dodoria, and they would swiftly take them out. Frieza, getting nervous that he hasn't heard from Zarbon and Dodoria for a while, would call in the Ginyu Force to bring him a scouter and to retrieve the Dragon Balls. Goku and Vegeta would be flying towards Frieza's ship, as that is where all of the remaining Dragon Balls are, but they come across the Ginyu Force on their way there. The Ginyu Force would begin to pose, but Vegeta would take this opportunity to kill Captain Ginyu, leaving the other members of the Ginyu Force scared and about to retreat, but Vegeta would quickly kill all of them as well. Goku didn't agree with Vegeta killing these people, but they didn't have time to argue about it, so they just continue making their way to Frieza. Grand Elder Guru tells Nail that they will need a Namekian to use the Dragon Balls, so he tells Nail to go to them and grant their wishes for them. Nail says Guru will be left unprotected, but Guru says he'll be fine. Nail then begins to fly towards them, and we cut back to Goku and Vegeta landing outside of Frieza's ship. Frieza would walk out of his ship, seeing Goku and Vegeta, and being angry. By this time, Goku and Vegeta's potential unlocked boost would hit its cap, with Goku at an astounding power level of 40 million, and Vegeta at a power level of 15 million. Vegeta would be the first to take on Frieza, and it would quickly be demonstrated that Frieza can't even land a blow in his first form. Frieza would get serious and he would instantly transform into its final form, staring at Vegeta dead in the eyes. Vegeta would try to take on Frieza, but he isn't enough. Frieza in his final form is around 4 times stronger than Vegeta, making it so Frieza can handle Vegeta with ease. Frieza is about to finish off Vegeta with a death beam, but then Goku grabs his arm. Goku and Frieza would begin to fight, and shortly after, Nail would arrive. Nail would take the Dragon Balls, and him and Vegeta would travel a couple miles away and summon Porunga. Frieza would see Porunga and instantly begin to fly towards it, and Goku would quickly begin to chase after him. Frieza would shout, "I wish to be immortal," and Goku would scream no as he kicks Frieza away. Goku then looks down. Goku is angry. Why didn't he use Kaioken? Now Frieza is immortal, and he's going to kill them all, and he'll probably head to Earth next. Goku pictures Gohan, Chi-Chi, and all of his friends dying to the hands of Frieza. Lightning begins to strike across the entire planet, and Vegeta looks up in amazement. Vegeta smirks, knowing Kakarot has finally done it. He has finally become a Super Saiyan. Goku stares at Frieza and shouts, "Here's what I think of your immortality!" as he speed blitzes Frieza. Frieza's getting completely pummeled, and he can only break away for a second to get into his full power form, but that won't change the outcome of the fight. Goku right now is at an astounding power level of 2 billion, while full power Frieza is only at a power level of 120 million. Even this Goku in Kaioken times 3 would be the same strength as Frieza, but now, Frieza stands no chance. It would quickly become apparent to both of them that Frieza isn't immortal, and Nail would telepathically ask Goku what he wants the wishes to be. There are 3 wishes. Goku tells Nail to bring back every good person killed by Frieza, to bring back everyone who died in the Saiyan attack on Earth, and to also revive Tien. All 3 wishes would be granted. Because of how much earlier this battle is taking place, Guru would still be alive, meaning all 3 wishes would be granted. Frieza wouldn't even get the chance to blow up the planet because Goku is relentlessly beating Frieza down. Goku would try to spare Frieza, but then Vegeta would quickly come behind the weakened Frieza and kill him. Goku would then drop into his base form, and he would thank Nail for granting the wishes. Goku and Vegeta would then head back to the gravity ship, and they would train on it until they arrive back on Earth. In the future timeline, Goku would still die to the heart virus, and even though Vegeta is a bit stronger, he is still no match for the androids, so the future timeline remains practically the same. Also, the androids would be stronger anyway, since the people of Earth would be stronger. However, someone that isn't stronger will be Cell, since this Cell isn't going to have Frieza or King Cold's DNA. He won't have Frieza's DNA because he actually died on Namek, and since Frieza died on Namek, King Cold wouldn't know about Earth, so he wouldn't go there. So now, when Trunks arrives in the past, he just simply flies towards Mount Paozu. Trunks would arrive, and he would see Goku and Piccolo training. Goku and Piccolo would stop their battle, and then Trunks would ask to speak to Goku in private, but Piccolo says he'll be able to hear it anyway, so he might as well just spit it out. Trunks would tell them about the androids, and how Goku would die before they arrived because of a heart virus. He would also tell them about Bulma and Vegeta being his parents, and after Trunks would give Goku the heart virus medication, he would leave shortly after. The first fight with the androids would remain the same, with the heart virus striking Goku and making him need to get taken home to get the medicine. The first fight with Android 17 and 18 would also remain the same, and we now skip to Piccolo vs Imperfect Cell. If Piccolo was as strong as his canon counterpart, then he would probably kill this version of Cell, but since this Piccolo never fused with Nail, he would not be as strong, so his fight with Cell would remain the same. We now skip to the fight of Piccolo vs Android 17, and let's just say, it is a lot less in Piccolo's favour. Don't get me wrong, it isn't easy for Android 17, but it is nowhere near as even as it was in canon. Cell would eventually show up, and he would only be very slightly stronger than Android 17. Their fight would be drawn out for so long that Vegeta and Trunks would eventually show up, and with the power of Super Saiyan Grade 2, Vegeta would begin to beat down Cell, while Trunks would take on all three androids. Cell would tell Vegeta if he can absorb the androids then he can give Vegeta a true challenge, but Vegeta hasn't even been slightly impressed with Cell's power so far, so he doesn't even believe Cell. This would lead Vegeta to not let Cell absorb the androids, and he would end up killing him. Trunks, believing the androids had no good in them because of their future counterparts, would end up killing all three androids, leaving nothing remaining. Krillin would be a bit sad that Android 18 had died, but he would get over it, and around a day later, Goku and Gohan would exit the time chamber, and they are pretty damn strong. In canon, Gohan had momentarily activated Super Saiyan 2 in the time chamber, and I believe, with Goku already having a head start of Super Saiyan and being a lot stronger than Gohan was in canon, he would be able to achieve Super Saiyan 2 and access it at will. Also, since Gohan has an even greater potential than his canon counterpart, he would also achieve this. They would both have still mastered Super Saiyan as well, and when they exit the time chamber, it is pretty obvious to everyone that even if Vegeta and Trunks went into the time chamber again, they wouldn't even be able to come close to their power. A day later, Trunks would be heading back to the future after saying goodbye to everyone, and since the video is a little short, we're going to quickly cover what happens there. Trunks would arrive in the future, and after catching up with Bulma, he would go and confront the androids. Trunks would instantly transform into Super Saiyan Grade 2, and after the androids make some jokes about Trunks hitting the gym, Trunks would quickly dispatch the pair of them, with little difficulty. Even when they tried to face Trunks 2-on-1, they just didn't stand a chance against him. Some time would pass, and Imperfect Cell would show up. Trunks would fight the bug creature, and Cell couldn't even comprehend the gap between them. How is Trunks so powerful? It doesn't make sense. Trunks, with a powerful blast, would finally end Cell and put an end to the threat of the androids, saving his world. In other words, Gohan would have been sensing the entire thing, and he can't help but smile. Trunks did it. He saved their world. Goku then puts his hand on Gohan's shoulder, and asks if he is ready to continue training. Gohan would nod, and then stand up and get into his fighting stance. Since Goku is still alive, this will indeed change some things. I believe with Goku motivating Gohan, he would find a balance between training and schoolwork, meaning he will actually keep up with his training in this timeline. When Goten is old enough, he would also start training with Goku and Gohan, and both Goku and Gohan can tell he has amazing potential. He seemingly has an equal potential to Gohan, if not even greater, so both Goku and Gohan would take interest in Goten's training. Trunks would still occasionally train with Vegeta, but since the likes of Goten have a far greater potential than him now, their friendship dynamic would be completely different. In canon, Trunks is like the leader of them both. However, with Goku being around, Goten has a lot more confidence in himself, and combined with Goten being substantially stronger than Trunks now, that leadership dynamic wouldn't exist, and if it did, it would be reversed where Goten is more of the leader. I believe Goten could have even accessed Super Saiyan 2 during this time, thanks to the help of Goku and Gohan, making the power gap between him and Trunks even greater. Gohan would still become the Great Saiyan Man, and Videl would eventually discover this and blackmail Gohan into joining the World Martial Arts Tournament along with training her. Goku would help training her, and after hearing about the tournament, he would get excited and would decide to join as well. Goku would contact the other Z fighters to join the tournament as well, and we are now going to skip to said tournament. Let's be honest, we already know what's going to happen in the Juniors division. The final fight will obviously be between Goten and Trunks, and even though the battle would be a good spectacle, Goten would inevitably win. The adult division remains the same up until Gohan powers up against Kibito. The Supreme Kai would still try to freeze Gohan, allowing Spopovich and Yami to steal his energy, but Gohan would be too powerful and would burst his aura, sending the two Majins flying. The two Majins would then flee the scene, and the Z fighters would give chase. They would arrive on the scene, only to watch as Bobbidi disposes of Spopovich and Yamu. Dabura would kill Kibito and spit on Krillin and Piccolo. Dabura and Bobbidi would then teleport inside their ship, and the Saiyans along with the Supreme Kai would give chase. All the fights inside the ship would remain the same, apart from when Gohan faces Dabura, he kills him almost instantly. This would lead Bobbidi to quickly take control of Vegeta, which could only be possible because of how Vegeta feels like his power is always overshadowed by others. By Goku, by Gohan, and maybe even Goten at this point. Vegeta would begin to fight Goku, however he didn't even stand a chance. Goku is effortlessly beating Vegeta, and unfortunately for Bobbidi, Goku would beat Vegeta without creating enough energy to revive Majin Buu, and while they were fighting, Gohan and Supreme Kai would have found and killed Bobbidi. Supreme Kai would then use his magic to remove the Majin symbol from Vegeta, and shortly after, all good people killed would be revived. Supreme Kai would first Kai to Beerus' world along with Buu's egg, so when Beerus awakes, he can dispose of it. And he would then Kai to Kibito and bring him back to where him, Goku and Gohan were. The Supreme Kai would thank Goku and Gohan, and when him and Kibito are about to leave, Goku would ask if he can come and train under them. He wants to learn that teleportation technique, along with getting stronger in general, and once the Supreme Kai gets the idea of Goku trying to lift the Z-Sword, he would agree. The Supreme Kai would ask if Gohan would like to come as well, and Gohan says that he would, but he still wants to stay on Earth for the majority of the time. The Supreme Kai says that is fine because they can teach him the Kai as well, so he can go between Earth and the Supreme Kai's world at his leisure. Gohan would then agree, and he would head to the Supreme Kai's world alongside Goku, Kibito and Supreme Kai. They all arrive on the world of the Kaioshin, and they head straight towards the Z-Sword. Goku is instructed to lift the Z-Sword out of the mountain, so after transforming into a Super Saiyan, Goku would then lift the Z-Sword with ease. Some time would pass, with Goku and Gohan of not only learning the Kai, but also training with the Z-Sword, and Goku would get curious as to how durable the sword is. So, the Supreme Kai would throw a block of Cochin at Goku, and when Goku slices at it with the Z-Sword, the Z-Sword would snap, and everyone would begin to panic. The Elder Kai would then appear, and as a gift to Goku for releasing him from the sword, he would unlock Goku's potential, and since the Elder Kai can sense the immense potential from Gohan, he would do the same to him. Goku then says that if the Elder Kai likes people with great potential, his other son Goten might have even greater potential than Gohan, and this would indeed interest the Elder Kai. Beerus wakes up as per usual, and after destroying a couple planets and remembering about the Super Saiyan God, Beerus would ask Whis where the remaining Saiyans reside. Whis says that there are actually 3 Saiyans training on the Supreme Kai's world as they speak, and Beerus would be intrigued. Beerus and Whis would then head towards the Supreme Kai's world, and we transition to Goku, Gohan, and surprisingly Goten training on the Supreme Kai's world. Goten would currently be getting his potential unlocked by the Elder Kai, while Goku and Gohan spar with each other. Beerus and Whis would arrive, and Beerus would ask both Goku and Gohan if they know about the Super Saiyan God. They would both say no, but Goku would still decide to challenge Beerus, and since it is Beerus, he would obviously agree, and Goku would first try to fight Beerus in base form. This would obviously do nothing, so Goku would then transform into a Super Saiyan 2. Beerus would be impressed at Goku's power, but he can tell Goku is still holding back. Beerus tells Goku to go full power, and Goku would then go Ultimate, surprising Beerus immensely. This Goku in Ultimate is around the strength of Super Saiyan Blue Goku during the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 tournament, so as you can tell, he is putting up a much better fight than his canon counterpart. Goku would land a Mock Kick on Beerus and then transitioning into a Meteor combo. Beerus would throw a barrage of mini Hakai balls at Goku, but Goku would smack them all away with ease. Beerus would then uppercut Goku, and he would then land a kick on his gut, sending him flying. Goku would shoot hundreds of Ki Blasts at Beerus, and Beerus would shoot a bunch of Ki Blasts in retaliation. Goku and Beerus would clash fists, creating shockwaves throughout the universe, and then Goku would jump back, beginning to power up a Kamehameha. Beerus would smirk, powering up a giant sphere of destruction. Goku, after powering up the Kamehameha, would then Kai behind Beerus with the Kamehameha still in his hand, and he would then fire it at Beerus, hitting him, and the sphere of destruction would also explode, hitting Beerus. The smoke would clear, and Beerus would still be perfectly fine. A couple of scratch marks, but apart from that he is totally fine. Goku then flies at Beerus, trying to land another attack, but Beerus would easily dodge the attack, and he would then land a chop on Goku's neck, instantly knocking him out and sending him back into his base form. Beerus asks if Gohan wants to fight next, but Gohan says that he is only a bit stronger than Goku, so if Goku can't beat him, then he certainly can't either. Beerus says that even though Goku was incredibly powerful, he could tell he is no god. Goku would then wake up, and he would compliment Beerus on his power. Beerus commends Goku on his power and skill, however he informed Goku he is certain he is no Super Saiyan god. Goku says he kinda guessed that, but he says he would still love to fight Beerus again sometime once he is stronger. This would give Beerus the idea of Goku and maybe Gohan training under Whis to get stronger and truly become his rival. Maybe training under a god like Whis could even help them achieve Super Saiyan God. Beerus would offer both Goku and Gohan to train on this world. Goten would be sat there feeling a little left out, but he is sure once he gets his ultimate form, he'll be super strong anyway. Goku would obviously accept this, but Gohan isn't sure. Goku would remind Gohan that he can still go back to Earth at any time. He does have the Kai after all. And then Gohan would reluctantly agree. Beerus smirks, and he says that he will come and bring them to his world in a couple of months. Beerus and Whis would then leave, heading back to Beerus' world. Goku would get super excited and start explaining how fun the fight was against Beerus to Goten. Supreme Kai asks Gohan how he is going to explain everything to Chi-Chi. Better yet, even Vegeta, because he will definitely notice when Beerus will arrive on Earth to retrieve him and Goku. Gohan says he is sure he will think of something, and he then goes over to Goku and Goten. Goten is saying he really wants to go to Beerus' world too, and Gohan chuckles, saying maybe when he's a little older, then he'll be able to come. Goten begins pouting, and both Goku and Gohan begin to laugh. Frieza would face off against Gohan, and after sensing Gohan's power, he would instantly transform into his final form. Gohan would chuckle as he Kai-Kais in front of Frieza, and he then smacks him to the ground. Frieza would rush at Gohan, trying to land a blow on Gohan's face, but Gohan would easily block the incoming attack. Gohan and Frieza would be continuously clashing while vanishing and reappearing around the battlefield. Frieza would then fire a barrage of death beams at Gohan, with Gohan smacking them all away with ease, and Gohan would then fire a Masenko at Frieza, which would be narrowly dodged. Frieza chuckles, saying that, for a monkey, Gohan's power is impressive. However, their fight has only just begun. Frieza begins to power up as he gets coated in a golden aura. His entire body turns gold as if he was putting on golden armor, and after his transformation is complete, he is now Golden Frieza. Gohan smirks, asking Frieza if that is all. Frieza chuckles at the remark, saying that if this isn't power, then why didn't Gohan give him a demonstration on what is? Gohan obliges, as he begins to power up. His aura is first white as he begins transforming into Ultimate, but then the aura, along with his hair, begin to get a red tint. This is Gohan using his God Ki with the power of Ultimate, and after the transformation is complete, a drop of sweat rolls down Frieza's face. Frieza can't sense Gohan's power, but the extreme pressure radiating off Gohan tells Frieza all he needs to know. Gohan mocks Frieza, asking if he is sure he still wants to fight him. Frieza reasserts his confidence, saying it would be his pleasure. Gohan stares at Frieza dead in the eyes, and without Frieza being able to register what happened, Gohan speed blitzes Frieza. Gohan is ragdolling Frieza, and after Frieza barely escapes a speed blitz, Gohan then appears in front of Frieza, firing a point-blank Masenko, sending Frieza flying and extremely damaged. Gohan would slowly fly towards Frieza, Frieza being so weak that he is sent back into his final form. Goku, along with Beerus and Whis, arrive just in time to see Gohan land the final blow on Frieza, but Frieza quickly blows up the earth before he can. Goku opens his eyes, and he is inside a green sphere with Whis and Beerus, and he can see the remains of Earth, floating around space. Goku says that he needs to quickly head to Namek to wish back Earth, but Whis says there is no need. He will reverse time to just before Frieza blows up the planet, and Goku will need to quickly kill him before he can do so. Goku is shocked that Whis even has this ability, but he decides not to waste any time, so he quickly agrees, and then Whis begins to reverse time. Gohan is standing above Frieza, ready to kill him. Goku quickly Kaikai'd next to Gohan, and he then kicks Frieza into the sky, preventing him from blowing up the planet. Goku then quickly transforms into Ultimate, which has a blue tint to it because of his God Ki, and since Goku trains on Beerus World more than Gohan, he was able to achieve a new state of power that Gohan did not. Goku begins to power up, a full power Kamehameha. Frieza begins to power up a Death Ball, but then Goku Kaikai's directly in front of Frieza and fires the Kamehameha, completely erasing Frieza and leaving nothing remaining. Gohan is confused as to why Goku did that, but then Goku tells him what happened. Gohan apologizes for not finishing Frieza off straight away, but Goku says it is fine, as long as Gohan learns from this situation. Gohan nods, and then Goku walks back over to Beerus and Whis. They then head back to Beerus World, but it looks like they aren't the only ones heading to Beerus World. Deep in space, Champa and Vados decide they will make a stop at Beerus World while they search for the final Super Dragon Ball. Champa and Vados had their conversation with Beerus and Whis on Beerus World, and with Goku pushing for a tournament to happen, both sides would agree. Goku and Gohan would obviously be in the Universe 7 team, and they would also bring Goten onto the team, because Goten has been training with Gohan whenever he is on Earth, so Goten in Ultimate is pretty powerful. Piccolo would also be brought onto the team, and they still would need one more person. Gohan is naming people that could join the team, and asking Goku what he thinks. Goku tells them all to wait there, and he then teleports away to the confusion of everyone. Goku appears on the lookout, and then he sees who he was looking for. A bearded Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta had just exited the time chamber, and he then glares at Goku. Vegeta asks Goku what he wants, and then Goku explains the tournament to Vegeta. He tells Vegeta that he wants him to join, but Vegeta just looks away in disgust. Goku didn't even consider asking him to train on the Kai's or Beerus world, yet he has the nerve to ask him to join some stupid tournament. Goku says he is sorry, but now isn't the time. Vegeta says he doesn't care. He isn't joining that dumb tournament. Goku thinks, and he then gets an idea. He tells Vegeta that if Vegeta joins the tournament and they win, then he will convince Beerus and Whis to let Vegeta train on their world. Vegeta finally agrees to join the tournament, and Goku decides he will train up Vegeta in the time chamber for the 3 days they have before the tournament. Not only that, but Whis would actually come into the time chamber with them, and Goku and Vegeta would train inside of Whis' staff, which had a time dilation similar to the time chamber, meaning that Goku and Vegeta get 6 years of training. And it is safe to say, Vegeta would have not only accessed God Ki, but also achieved Super Saiyan Blue during this time. We now skip to the tournament, and Goku is up first facing Botomo. Goku would beat him the same way as he does in canon, so we then move on to Goku vs Frost. Goku gets Frost to transform into his final form instantly, and because of how much stronger this Goku is, he defeats Frost with a single blow while in base, meaning nobody finds out about the poison, so people think Frost is still a good guy. Goku would eventually find an insult that makes Botomo run out of the ring crying, and it would now be time for Goku to face Kaba. However, Vegeta would want to face Kaba instead, and since Goku has faith in his team, he would forfeit, allowing Vegeta to face Kaba. Vegeta would teach Kaba how to go Super Saiyan, and after defeating him, he would go up against Hit. Vegeta would do slightly better against Hit, however, it wouldn't be enough, and Hit would knock him out of the ring. Next up is Goten, and Hit would underestimate him, but when Goten goes ultimate, he catches Hit off guard and actually gets a couple hits in. However, Hit would quickly regain his footing, and he would knock Goten out of the ring with minor difficulty. Gohan enters the ring, and he stares Hit down. Gohan first tries to face Hit in base form, and since Gohan is smart, he would figure out Hit's time skip like Goku did in canon. After doing this, he would transform into Ultimate, and let's just say, he isn't gonna have a fun time. Gohan easily counters every single attack, and gets some good blows onto Hit. Hit would begin to increase his time skip, giving him a better chance against Gohan, but that is all it is, a chance. Gohan is toying with Hit, and after ragdolling him, he begins to clash with Hit, disappearing and reappearing around the ring. Gohan then lands an uppercut on Hit, sending him flying into the sky, and he then begins to power up a full power Masenko. Hit looks down at Gohan, not sure on what to do, but then Gohan appears above Hit, firing the Masenko at Hit, sending him flying out of the ring. This means Universe 7 has won the tournament, and they get the wish from the Super Dragon Balls. Zeno would still show up and get the idea of the Tournament of Power, and him and Goku would still become friends like in canon. You may think that Zamasu wouldn't enact the Zero Mortal plan, thanks to Gohan not using his God Ki in his fight with Hit, but that is where I think you are wrong. Future Trunks still time travels in this scenario, and even though Gohan doesn't necessarily use God Ki, he still uses the Ultimate Form. The Ultimate Form coming from the Elder Kai. The Elder Kai being a god. I think you see where I'm going with this, so Zamasu would steal Gohan's body using the Super Dragon Balls, and he would then begin to terrorize a future timeline. This would be very emotional for Trunks, seeing someone who looks like his former mentor, destroying everything his timeline has built after the androids, and especially seeing them kill his own mother. I believe Trunks could have even accessed Super Saiyan Rage before even going back in time because of this, and winning a couple of fights against Gohan Black. However, Gohan Black would always escape, and would always come back stronger after these situations, even accessing Ultimate and then having a clear advantage over Trunks once again, forcing him to go back in time. Once Trunks arrives in the past, Gohan, Vegeta and Goku are all training on Beerus World, and Bulma calls Whis and tells the Saiyan trio about the appearance of Trunks. Since Goku and Gohan have the Kai, which is far better than instant transmission, they don't need anyone on Earth to power up, and they just teleport to Capsule Corp with Vegeta, Whis, and Beerus. Goku would quickly get Senzu Beans, and after Trunks eats the Senzu Bean, he would wake up, seeing Gohan, and would instantly attack. Gohan would easily catch the punch, and after getting slapped by Bulma, Trunks would regain his composure and realise it isn't Gohan Black. Trunks would explain what happened to everyone, and shortly after, Gohan Black would arrive, sending fear into future Trunks. Gohan would be ready to fly up and fight his imposter, however Goku would beat him to it, flying up to face Gohan Black. Gohan Black was hoping to fight Gohan, but he decides Goku could be a good warm-up, so their battle begins, with them both in base form, and Goku is severely outmatched. Goku would use Ultimate, evening the playing field for a short while, but once Gohan Black uses Ultimate as well, Goku can't stand a chance. Goku is even pushed into using Ultimate Blue just to keep up with Gohan Black, gaining a slight advantage, but before Goku can do any real damage, Gohan Black is sent back to the future through the wormhole, but he would destroy the time machine first. Vegeta would decide to train with Trunks in the time chamber, and even though Goku would want to go with Beerus and Whis to investigate Zamasu, he decides to train with Gohan, seeing as if Gohan Black in Ultimate alone wasn't far off of Goku in Ultimate Blue. If Gohan Black was somehow able to access Ultimate Blue as well, they could be in serious trouble. Like, Gohan in Ultimate Blue is pretty largely stronger than Goku in Ultimate Blue, but he isn't so strong as to where in Ultimate alone he can take on Ultimate Blue Goku. We now skip to the Saiyans heading to the future in the newly built time machine to face Gohan Black. Gohan transforms into Ultimate Blue and gets in his fighting stance. Gohan Black smiles, transforming into Ultimate Rose, and the power is astonishing. Gohan is undeterred however, and he would begin to face Gohan Black. They would seem to be evenly matched, but something seems off. Every couple of minutes, Gohan Black would disappear and then reappear fully healed, eventually wearing down Gohan and knocking him out of Ultimate Blue. Zamasu would then appear next to Gohan Black, and Goku would instantly realise Zamasu as a Kai, now knowing how Gohan Black kept getting healed. Goku gives Gohan a Senzu Bean, instantly healing him, and then both of them power up into Ultimate Blue. Gohan Black and Zamasu know that this is going to be an issue, so they end up fusing into merged Zamasu. Goku and Gohan begin to fight Zamasu, while Vegeta and Trunks begin to think of a plan. The Supreme Kai shows up in the future, using a time ring, and he sees what is going on. The Supreme Kai says Vegeta and Trunks can fuse, but it will be permanent. Vegeta and Trunks look at each other, and they turn to the fight, and they see merged Zamasu slowly gaining the upper hand. They both reluctantly agree, and they put on the earrings, fusing into V-Jenks. Goku and Gohan get smacked away, and then merged Zamasu shoots a ki blast at them. V-Jenks appears in front of them, and smacks a blast away, and then V-Jenks tells Goku and Gohan that he won't be able to beat merged Zamasu alone. All three of them will need to work together. V-Jenks would transform into Super Saiyan Blue, and the Saiyan trio would rush at merged Zamasu. The trio would be smacking Zamasu between each other, and they would then all power up beam attacks, firing them at merged Zamasu, seemingly killing him. V-Jenks would defuse, surprising both Vegeta and Trunks, but it is a welcome surprise. A couple seconds later, the sky would turn green, and Zamasu's face would appear everywhere. Infinite Zamasu is now here, and when Goku checks his pocket for some more Senzu Beans, he finds a Zeno button, summoning Zeno, and Zeno would then erase that entire timeline. Goku would bring future Zeno back to the past, to present Zeno, and after that, Goku would tell Beerus and Whis about a green Kai being there, and having something to do with that entire situation. Beerus and Whis would then go kill Zamasu, and once they return, the discussion on what will happen with future Trunks arises. Whis says that Trunks can go into another timeline where another version of himself already exists, but Gohan says that he should stay in this timeline with the people he knows and are friends with. Goku would agree, and then Trunks looks to Vegeta. Vegeta closes his eyes, and he nods. Trunks then decides to stay in the past, which is going to be very useful for the Universe 7 team during the Tournament of Power. The exhibition match has Goku, Gohan and Vegeta fighting the Trio of Danger, and after all three of them easily defeat their opponents, Toppo tries to face Goku. Goku starts in base form, having a disadvantage against Toppo. However, when Goku uses Ultimate, he begins to absolutely dominate Toppo. Toppo can't even land a blow, while Goku keeps teleporting around him, landing devastating blows. The Grand Priest had to stop the fight because Toppo was too hurt to continue, and then everyone heads back to their own respective universes. We head into the tournament where Goku easily wipes out the 9th universe by himself, and everyone watches as Zeno erases them. This shows everyone that Zeno was completely serious about erasing the universes that lose, and this raises the stakes even higher for everyone in the arena. Goku would then go on to fight a Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla while in base form, and Kale would go berserk, rushing at Goku. Goku would transform into Ultimate, and he would begin to easily overpower Kale, and with a full power Kamehameha, he would send her flying out of the ring. Caulifla would get angry seeing Kale knocked out of the ring, and would rush at Goku, but Goku would then flip Caulifla on the head, sending her flying out of the ring as well. Vegeta would be facing Toppo, and they are seemingly evenly matched, and Gohan is effortlessly beating Dispo while in Ultimate. Goku turns and sees Jiren, standing there and looking directly at Goku. Goku walks up to Jiren, staring him in the eyes, and he proceeds to attack him while in base. Jiren doesn't flinch however, so Goku powers up into Ultimate, and Jiren is caught off guard. Goku is already doing far better than the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku in canon. However, Goku can tell that Jiren is still holding back, so he powers up into Ultimate Blue, and he pushes Jiren to full power. Jiren has an edge in terms of power, but Goku's skill makes it so they are fighting evenly. Goku is fired up, and he is really enjoying the fight. Jiren is surprised that Goku is this strong, however he is still confident in his own abilities, and continues to train blows with Goku. Goku jumps back onto a huge bit of debris, and begins to power up a Spirit Bomb. Jiren is about to jump up and attack Goku while he does this, but then he gets kicked in the jaw by an Ultimate Blue Gohan, sending him flying. Jiren would begin to fight Ultimate Blue Gohan, and let's just say, Jiren is getting smacked. Jiren is even pushed into breaking his limits, where he then begins to gain an edge over Gohan, but by the time that happens, Goku has powered up the Spirit Bomb, and then Gohan gets Jiren into a full Nelson. Goku throws a Spirit Bomb, and because of how strong Jiren is right now, with a single glare, he sends a Spirit Bomb straight back at Goku. Goku falling into the exploding Spirit Bomb and vanishing. Gohan gets furious, getting a rage boost and temporarily keeping up with Jiren, but once that rage dissipates, Jiren regains the upper hand and begins to beat him out of Ultimate Blue. Jiren is about to knock Gohan out of the ring, but future Trunks sees this, getting a flashback of the dead body of future Gohan, tapping into Super Saiyan Rage and surprise attacking Jiren, trying to give Gohan a chance to escape, but Trunks' attacks have little to no effect on Jiren, and Jiren begins to pummel him to the ground. Vegeta sees this while fighting a God of Destruction Toppo alongside Goten, and Vegeta's rage begins to boil to the surface. Vegeta shouts for Goten to go and help them, and Goten does so without another thought. Vegeta uses his rage, transforming into a Super Saiyan Blue evolution, and he gains an upper hand on Toppo, eventually defeating him. Vegeta and Goten begin to face off against Jiren, having a severe disadvantage. But then, the crater where Goku seemingly vanished, a white light appears. Goku exits the white light in Ultra Instinct Omen, and he then appears behind Jiren. Jiren kicks Vegeta and Goten away, and he turns around, staring at Goku in the eyes. Jiren tries to land a punch on Goku's face, but Goku dodges the attack, landing a gut punch on Jiren. Jiren gets angry and rushes at Goku, the two landing blow for blow, but even with this new power, Goku can't land a finishing blow on Jiren. Goku can also tell his stamina is draining much faster than Jiren's, so he needs to end this fight quickly, but he just doesn't have the power to do so. Gohan and Trunks get up, using their remaining energy to transform alongside Vegeta, Goten, and even Frieza, and then they all rush at Jiren in unison, and alongside Goku, they begin their final struggle. Jiren is too focused on not letting Goku land a vital attack that he is open from a lot of the weaker attacks from the others and the stronger ones from Gohan, eventually getting him near the edge of the ring. All of Universe 7 power up a final combined beam attack, firing it at Jiren and sending him out of the ring, leaving Universe 7 as the victors of the tournament. Goku will probably be the MVP because of not just doing the most against Jiren, but also getting eliminations of other stronger people such as Kale. And since it is Goku, he would probably wish for all the universes to be restored. Since Frieza didn't play a vital part in the winning of the tournament, he wouldn't be revived, which means the Broly movie would never take place. And when Goku goes to face Moro on Namek alongside Gohan and Vegeta, both Goku and Gohan would easily have enough power to beat Moro there and then, so that entire arc is averted. So that is where this series ends. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and if you did, then make sure to like the video, comment what series I should do next, and make sure to subscribe. It is quick and easy to do. With all of that out of the way, I hope to see you all in the next video.